Perhaps due to political realities, the president has backed off his attacks on big business and the so-called rich in America. But still, class warfare and civil strife is alive and well in post-segregation America. We know in less than 2 years, when the tax cuts are due to expire yet again, it will be in full throttle. Here now, syndicated columnist Deroy Murdock, who says America is literally biting the hand that feeds it when this nonsense happens. Well, Deroy, first of all, welcome here. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Why the attacks on the rich? And why the attacks on the rich with utter abandon for the consequences of those political and cultural attacks?
Well, you look at the people who are in charge. In the White House, you've got Barack Obama, who's very much a left-wing Democrat. Until a couple days ago, you had Nancy Pelosi running the House of Representatives. Harry Reid is still running the Senate. And these are basically left-of-center collectivist Democrats, and they have an ideology that basically is all about attacking the wealthy, calling them names, and trying to pit people of less income against people with higher income, despite the negative consequences of doing exactly that.
What do the rich pay in taxes, and what do the economic activities of the rich do for those who need jobs? Exactly. Stated differently, where would we be without the rich?
I think we all should say 3 cheers for the rich. First of all, in terms of taxes, people say, well, they don't pay their fair share. In fact, they pay a lot in taxes. Just in income tax alone in the year 2008, the top 1% paid 38% of all income taxes.
Top 1% of earners paid 38% of all income taxes the federal government received.
Correct, exactly. By the way, they only made 20% of national income, so they actually are paying more as a percentage of income than in taxes than what they make in terms of wages and earnings. The top 5%, about 60% of our taxes come from those folks, and the top 10% of filers paid about 70% of taxes paid into the IRS. So I think they're paying their fair share. I'm not sure how much more than that they can pay. Now, independent of taxes, these are the people who start companies, expand companies, hire people, create new products, deliver services. So these are all very, very good things.
All right. In the past 2 months, this leftist president, who has taken the country halfway to socialism, has come out.
Only half.
Right, only half. Has come out in favor of extending the Bush-era tax cuts. Has replaced another wild-eyed lefty from Chicago with a presently and soon-to-be former vice president of J.P. Morgan Chase. Question, has he suddenly learned economics 101, or is this just a smiley face on this leftist towards businessmen?
I think he's read the polls. I think he's read the election results from November, and I think he sees that you've got John Boehner in control of the House of Representatives, not Nancy Pelosi. So I think he's responding to political reality, and if we're lucky, he will govern as some sort of a new Bill Clinton or something like that. That's not Ronald Reagan, but that would certainly be a lot better than we've seen in the last 2 years.
In the 2 years in which he's governed, with large majorities in his party in both houses of the Congress, they have let him borrow and spend $4 trillion. If we were talking 2.5 years ago, the national debt of the country was about $9.5 to $10 billion.
That's right.
It's now slightly north of 14. I said billion, I meant trillion. It's now slightly north of 14 trillion. Should the debt ceiling be raised yet again, or should we once and for all, with a sizable Republican majority in the House, say, no, this is a line over which you cannot cross. You can't spend money that you don't take in. It's your job to cut those budgets and decide who feels the pain.
I agree with the latter. I mean, I personally in my life have had times I've run up against credit card limits, and sometimes I've called the bank and said, can I put those up? And at some point I said, you know, enough's enough. Leave it alone where it is and cut back my spending and try to bring that number down. I mean, I do it personally. I know people out there do this, and we're well past time where we can say, look, 14 trillion is more than enough. Let's for example, implement the 2007 budget. Just take the exact budget we had in 2007, and let's say, let's live under that level of government we had, which is quite generous. People who needed help were getting the help, and if we did that and froze that and then started saying, okay, the federal government will only spend X% of the national income, we can start bringing this number down. I don't think we need to raise the debt ceiling.
Deroy, if you and I were in Congress, we would both vote against raising the debt ceiling.
As Obama did, but once, by the way.
Correct.
At least
but
once.
What do you think the big government Republicans and the small government Tea Partiers will do? Will the president pick them off with Christmas tree ornaments, with fears and threats of default, or will they stand firm to sound money and say, Mr. President, no, thou shalt not borrow another dime?
I think they should stand firm, and nothing says that they need to default. Look, whatever the interest payments are we need to pay, we can pay that first, pay that off, pay off people who we've told we're going to pay off our bonds, and then allocate all the rest of the money we need. There's nothing automatically that says that if we hit the debt ceiling that suddenly we've got to put the debt holders in the back of the line. There's no reason we should default. We can hold the line on that, bring spending down. I think every agency in the government should come in and from $1 re-justify their existence rather than just getting these automatic pay increases, automatic budget increases.
Deroy Murdock, it's a pleasure. Come visit us again, please.
Thank you very much.
The deadly and tragic collateral damage of a fruitless drug war. Next.